Okay, I believe I am live. Welcome back, guys, to another live stream. I usually do these live streams every Sunday, and I am very excited because last week I actually did not get a chance to do a live stream, and so yes, we're back doing Sunday live streams, and if you are returning to these live streams, welcome back, and I appreciate you taking the time to stop in. If you're brand new to the channel, welcome to this channel on Sunday evenings. Usually, I do these live streams. I talk about the things that I watched over the last week or so, and then we just kind of discuss anything movie related. And so, yeah, I'm very excited to do that. So. Yeah, also, if you are watching this on the playback on YouTube, please feel free to leave any comments on anything that is discussed, and I will get back to you. So I do read all of the comments. So let's see. Let me adjust this quickly. There we go. Okay. So yes, I have quite the stack of things to talk about in this live stream. Also, let me know if everything looks and sounds good on your end. I always like to double check because sometimes it sounds great, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, obviously, I'm listening to it, but yeah, sometimes it still doesn't sound as good as I want it to sound. So. But yes, I have quite the stack of items to talk about. Since I did not do a live stream last week, I decided I will talk about the movies that I watched over the last 2 weeks, and I have yeah, I have some fun ones to discuss. Here we go. But I will jump into some of these comments really quick. Let's see, Richard says here there's Titanic 2 out. Interesting. I did not hear anything on that. I know there was a Titanic 2 put out by Asylum Entertainment at one point, but I think that was a while back. Let's see. Okay. Mr. Bob says, can you do films that are only out on DVD and not Blu-ray, like 619 Matt from horror movies have done. Interesting. Yeah, so discussing movies that are only out on DVD, not Blu-ray. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to do some more research on that one, but say hey, looks and sounds good. Thank you. Yes. Awesome. Okay, so over the last 2 weeks, I've watched, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. I've watched 15 films, which was quite quite a lot of movies. And so I am going to dive into those because this will take a little bit of time. But I will stop and answer questions and talk about things along the way. So like I said, I've watched things over the last I'm gonna move this a little closer. I've watched things over the last 2 weeks or so, and starting on the 11th of the month, I watched the film Phantom of the Paradise. This is a film put out by this particular edition is Scream Factory, but this was directed by Brian De Palma, and so this is one that I've wanted to check out for a very long time, but I've just never gotten around to it. And then so I decided to pop it in and check it out, and I absolutely loved this movie. It was honestly just so much fun, and it was, I mean, obviously definitely cheesy at times, but honestly, it was just it was fun. And this is like the third adaptation of Phantom of the Opera that I've watched this year. I've watched the Dario Argento one, I've watched this, and then I've also watched Phantom of the Mall. And so I've seen so many adaptations of Phantom of the Opera. But yeah, this is just like a fun little like twist on that story, basically dealing with like somebody who is in the music industry and somebody who's kind of taken advantage of you know, people writing music. And it's shot, I mean, Brian De Palma he's in my favorite director section, and he is a very interesting director where a lot of his films have these very interesting like camera work, and it's very unique, and I really like that about his films. And so this is definitely one of those that has a lot of that like interesting like camera work to it. But next up, I watched. Let's see, on what day was that? On the 13th of the month, I watched the film Bloodfest. This is the 2023. Did this come out last year? This is a remake of the film from Herschel Gordon Lewis, and this might have came out last year, if I'm not mistaken. 2016. Okay, yeah, 2016, not 2023. I think this was released in 2023, but the film itself, I believe, came out in 2016. And yeah, I overall liked this movie. It seemed like there was a lot like it was a very dark movie, and in the sense of there wasn't much lighting in a lot of the sequences, and I can see what they were going for. It was trying to hide a lot in shadows and keep the tone dark, and overall I liked it. It definitely was. I think I liked the Herschel Gordon Lewis version better, but it was kind of fun. There was a little like cameo of him in this movie, which is always it's a fun one. But and I don't know. I was expecting this to be more like gory than it was. But yeah, this is put out by Synapse Films. But overall, it was a interesting film. Let's see. And then on the 14th of the month, I watched the film Shoot the Piano Player. This is put out by Criterion. This is spy number 315. It's a film that is in French. In French. It's from 1960, and it's black and white. And this one was interesting. And it kind of like, I don't know, was not exactly what I was anticipating. It had a lot of, I don't even know how to describe it. Basically, somebody just gets mixed up in it gets mixed up into a whole situation. And I mean, overall, I liked it. But I don't know. I maybe I have to rewatch it. I wasn't like super invested in the story, but so I'll do a couple more and then I'll jump into the comments. We have here, I watched this on the 15th of the month, and that is the film Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. I saw the first one in I think it was like last year, I think I watched it, and I wasn't a huge fan. I thought it looked kind of cheesy and it was okay. I ended up getting this one. I ended up getting this one in my one of that really big Facebook deal that I did, and I got a bunch of stuff in that deal, and so I ended up getting this basically for free. And I will say I liked this one a whole lot better than the first one. The budget on this, it just seemed. I mean, I know the budget was bigger, but overall, it just seemed like a better put together film. And I don't know. I liked it. And I don't know. Maybe if they make more, that might be interesting. But for what it is, there were some interesting like kills in it and some stuff like that. And I feel like they did more with the characters. Tigger was in that movie. I think what was it? Pooh obviously is in the movie, but and Piglet, I believe, was also briefly in the movie. And there was one other, the owl. I don't know what the owl's name is in Winnie the Pooh, but yeah, I overall I liked it. Let's see. Good evening, Kyle and online fam via NYC. Hello, welcome to the live stream. Is all French films Criterion see a French horror film time to time? So is all French films? I'm not sure what you mean by that, but yeah. Hello from Massillon. Like Massillon, Ohio, or Massillon? Is there a different Massillon? I don't know. I mean, if you are from Massillon, Ohio, hello, fellow Ohioan. I think that's a word, Ohioan. And welcome to the live stream. Winnie the Pooh is Massillon, Ohio. Welcome. Yes, yeah. Ohio is fun sometimes. But yeah, that's fun. I don't know if I've ever had somebody else on here that's also from Ohio. So That's fun. Let's see, Winnie the Pooh goes on a killing spree at Disney. Let's see, I'm Canadian. Gotcha. Yes, I've heard a lot of that. Winnie the Pooh, shaking my head. I must say, many films of today are truly lacking storylines, themes. Shaking my head yet again. Yes, I will, like, that's the thing, is stuff like this, like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. It's it's kind of fun, in the sense of they're taking this very, like, all of us grew up basically on Winnie the Pooh, and now he's becoming a killer. So it's kind of an interesting twist. And overall I liked it, but it's definitely one of those movies that I probably won't watch again anytime soon. Um, and I don't know. I do agree that a lot of films today are lacking in storytelling. But yeah, I do wish there was more original things coming out and not just like basically remaking things. Which the next movie I'm going to talk about is a great example of an original film. But let's see. Our weather is interesting today, the least to say. To say the least. Yes, our weather is interesting today, to say the least. Yes, I was outside very briefly today, and it looked warmer than it was, but it was still kind of cold. But anyways, I'm gonna jump into the next film that I watched. This one I watched on the 16th of the month, and that is the film Hell Comes to Frogtown. This is a movie that the like title alone sounded awesome. I've owned this actually on VHS for a little bit, and then I got this amazing Vinegar Syndrome edition of the movie, which like the top of it like slides off like this, and you have the Blu-ray inside. So amazing packaging put out by Vinegar Syndrome, but like you have stuff on both sides. But yes, this movie was fascinating. I really went into it not knowing anything about it, but it's basically it's like a post-apocalyptic world, and there are frog people, and it's like sets mostly in Frogtown, or partially in Frogtown, partially road trip movie in a way. But yeah, it was interesting. It was fun. I had actually a lot of fun with this one. Um, I would say I'd recommend checking it out if you enjoy Vinegar Syndrome stuff. I know for like when it comes to Vinegar Syndrome, sometimes some of their stuff is like hit or miss for me. But Hell Comes to Frogtown was one that actually I really, really enjoyed. And then on the 16th of the month, I watched the film Blood Moon. This is put out by Severin Films, and I knew nothing about it, but this one was fun. It's all set on a college campus, and basically there is a killer, and he uses this like barbed wire thing at some points, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I mean, overall, all of Severin Films, I have yet to come across one that I don't like, but this one was a lot of fun. And next up on the 16th of the month as well, I watched the film Bloody Moon. And so I watched Blood Moon and then Bloody Moon, two different films. And this one, I will say I didn't like it as much as Blood Moon. I know this one was on the Video Nasties list back in the day, and it was a little slow at times for me. But this sequence that's on the cover was a lot of fun. It uses like a sawmill situation, and if you're into like horror and I don't know, I mean, if you're into what Severin puts out, I would recommend checking this one out. But and then on on the 17th of the month, I watched the film Bloody Pit of Horror. This is also put out by Severin Films, and this one was fun. I knew nothing about this going into it, but essentially a group of people go into this large castle type of. I guess it's a castle, and they want to take some photographs for their magazine or book or something that the guy's writing, and so they kind of like try to get like a medieval vibe going, and it turns out that the guy owning, oh, I don't want to say any spoilers. Trying to think of a way to. There's basically a killer on the loose, and yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun. It felt a little low budget, but I thought it was a lot of fun. Let's see. Okay, so that wraps up everything that I've watched. Not this last week, but the week before. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more titles to talk about. I'm going to grab a drink though quickly. Okay, so on the 19th of the month, this is a film that is put out by Synapse Films, and that is the film The Convent. Convent, sorry. The Convent. This movie was so much fun. Let's see, what year was this? What year did this come out? 2000? I believe 2000. But this movie was so much fun. It was essentially about demon nuns, kind of, in a way. It reminded me a lot of like Night of the Demons or Demons 1 and 2 or something like that. And it all takes place in a convent. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed this one. It was so much fun and very creative. It felt like it was probably a low budget, but yeah, they did a lot with, I feel like they did a lot with a very limited plot. And overall, I really enjoyed that one, especially like being on 4K. It looked actually pretty great. So let's see, I'm going to just adjust that slightly. Okay. And then on the 20th of the month, I watched the film The Prey. This is put out by Arrow Video. And I knew nothing about this one. And I will say it was, for me, I didn't really enjoy it all that much. It just kind of felt very slow. It felt like a Friday the 13th ripoff, basically. There was basically a group of teens in the woods, and then there was a killer. And overall, I thought it was just okay. I probably won't be revisiting it. But yeah, I was a little disappointed, especially this cover looks a lot of fun. But I don't know. It was, especially even the monster reveal at the end, or the killer reveal rather, was a little, just a little disappointing. So let's see. On the 20th of the month as well, I watched the movie Born for Hell. This is put out by Severin Films as well. And yeah, this one, I liked it, but I didn't at the same time. It was a little slow, but it was effective. And I don't even know how to describe it, but I think it's based off of a true story, which is kind of messed up because it was some stuff happens in this movie that's really frustrating, where it reminded me a lot of movies like Funny Games, or I'm trying to think of another example, home invasion type of things where you're just frustrated at the situation. So it had that similar vibe to it, but yeah, I thought it was a interesting one. Let's see. By the way, Kyle, did you happen to view the new version of Nosferatu? I watched it, and personally, I found it to be a horrible film set aside from the cinematography. Yes, actually, I did watch it. I saw it in theaters, and I mean, personally, I really liked it. I also really liked the original one, but I thought this was the new one. I thought was interesting. I think, I mean, I like the original more, but what I really liked about Nosferatu was the sound design. I felt like, and maybe that was being in the theaters maybe helped that, but the sound design, I felt like it was really very, very effective. And so yeah, overall, I would say I liked it. I am excited to revisit it. I have the 4K. I need to pop it in again and watch it. But um, let's see, cool, Kyle. And mine, I'm a vampire horror fan. Shaking my head. Yes, Funny Games was an interesting one. Yes, yeah, I definitely could see why people wouldn't like Nosferatu though. It's I mean, the director of it, Robert Edgar, his films are. I feel like he thrives on that like old English language and like I mean he's the same director as The Witch, The Lighthouse, The Northman, and I believe Nosferatu is his fourth film. Um, but yeah, overall I'd say I do like his movies, but I need to revisit The Witch and The Lighthouse. It's been, and I still need to watch The Northman, but it's been a while since I've actually sat down and watched either of those. But let's see. And then the next movie, I'll finish these out quickly. So there's only 4 more movies to talk about. I watched this on the 21st of the month, and that is the movie Samurai Rebellion. This is put out by Criterion. It's by number 310. It's black and white in Japanese from 1967. Yeah, I have this box set with this one, and there's 3 other. Yeah, there's 3 other films within the box set. It's like the Samurai box set or something. I've owned it for years, and it's technically the next movies to watch of the ones that I own. And so I personally was a little bored by this one. I don't really know why. Maybe I wasn't in the right mood to watch it, but I felt like it dragged on a little bit. And I don't know. I wish I wanted to like it. I'd say the last like 10 minutes, I really, really got into it. I enjoyed the last sequence about the fighting. I felt like there was a lot of exposition and a lot of dialogue, and it moved a little slow, and then towards the end, it picked up a little bit. I am curious the other films though in the box set if they're similar in tone or if it's gonna you know pick up a little bit for the other ones, but. Let's see, 3 more to talk about. On the 21st of the month as well, I watched the movie Hellhole. This is put out by Scream Factory. And yeah, this is one that I've never seen before, but essentially it's kind of takes place in an asylum, and there is like a separate building where the one person's doing experiments on people, and it's referred to as Hellhole. And yeah, it was a fun horror film. Interesting lighting in a lot of sequences. There was some like I don't know. I really really liked the lighting. Some of the motivations of some of the people in it didn't quite make sense. And especially towards the end, there was one character in particular. I was like, why is he even bothering anymore? He should just leave. But overall, I would say I enjoyed it. I got that one on VHS as well. And so when I was watching this, I popped in, since I have my new TV setup, I popped in the VHS and I played this Blu-ray on the 4K TV, and I kind of had both screens trying to I played around with it trying to like sync it up, which was a lot of fun. And so I kind of had the old VHS playing and then the Blu-ray playing, and I will say the Blu-ray just looks way better than the old VHS tapes, but it's still fun to see them. Let me see. I'm going to jump into these before I jump. I'm going to jump into the comments before I finish out the last 2 films. Let's see. What is your favorite comedy movie? Ooh, that's a great question. Favorite comedy? One that I've seen a ton was the movie Hot Rod. I really enjoyed that movie with Andy Samberg. Is that his last name? That was one that I watched quite a bit in high school. The Naked Gun trilogy is up there for me. I really like those. I mean, Airplane, also just great comedy. Trying to look over at my comedy section now. I'm just going to leave it at those. But let's see. You buy a lot of used DVDs or DVDs from charities. Aren't you concerned about disc rot or improper storage before purchase? Storage in high heat, like a hot garage, can cause damage to DVDs. Honestly, I have really yet to come across disc rot. Knock on wood. Hopefully, I never do. But personally, I've just not really come across it. um, when I do buy them at a Goodwill or like a thrift shop or something like that, I do check to see if they're scratched. Usually, I mean, they're only a couple bucks. So I mean, for instance, let's see. If I bought this for a couple dollars at a Goodwill for like $2, I was going to check if it has scratches and kind of like risk if it has disc rot or not. But I don't know. I've yet to really come across it, and so I don't know. I'm not, really not too concerned about it. But maybe, I mean, maybe in the future I'll come across it, but I don't know. Um, yeah. Let's see. I can appreciate I can appreciate horror fans and the films. I love the Universal monster movies. That's about it for horror. LOL. Yes, I definitely understand. And I was actually just talking to my wife about the same topic about horror films, and they're not necessarily for everybody. And I'll never like I always like say to people, some horror movies are for some people, others are for other people. Um, Universal monster movies are great for like a beginner to like, or not, I don't want to say beginner, but Universal monster movies are great for somebody who doesn't like horror films, who you can still appreciate the fun, like thrilling aspect of it. But maybe you don't want to see a bunch of gore, or you don't want to see blood, or you don't want to have a bunch of jump scares. I mean, the Universal monster movies really aren't even scary. Obviously, depending on your age. I mean, like a 3-year-old's going to view them differently as like a 23-year-old. But I always like think of like horror in like different categories. Like some people will not watch like the Saw films; they just like don't like gore. Some people won't watch like something like I don't know, something with a lot like Insidious with like a bunch of jump scares and stuff like that. So it's definitely uh, a genre that is kind of like the same thing of like westerns aren't for everyone, or romance isn't for everyone. I mean, it's just like any other genre where you might be able to appreciate certain aspects of it, but it might not be for you. Personally, for me, I love it. And yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm trying to think of a great example of something, but I don't know. I think there's different horror films for different people. Let's see, I check at Goodwill to make sure the movie is in the case, and that's the right film, and it's the right film. Yes. There's been several times where I get really excited about coming across something at Goodwill, and then I open it up, and then there's just no disc at all in it, which is so unfortunate. Um, but yeah, or I will get really excited and I'll open it up and the back's just scratched beyond like recognition. So, um, but let's see. Do you like People Under the Stairs? People Under the Stairs by Wes Craven. I have not actually seen it. I own it though. Let's see. Where? Oh, yes, People Under the Stairs. I got this I think not too long ago from the Retro Attic, and I've not gotten a chance to check this out yet. Um, and Yeah, it looks interesting though. I'm very very excited to watch it. Um, I just feel like when it comes to my regular horror wall, which is this whole wall basically, besides what you actually see on camera back there, this whole wall is basically just all of my like regular horror films, and so not boutique stuff, but just regular horror films. And so, um, yeah, I need to watch more of what's on this wall because I keep focusing on the boutique stuff because in my brain it's like there's more. Like I've spent more money on that stuff, so I'm going to watch it first. But I really should spend some time and actually watch some stuff on that wall. Let's see, hey man, have you heard anything about a possible 4K Criterion physical release of Eyes Wide Shut? I have not, but I would absolutely love it if that actually came to be. I have like a mental list of I should make a video of it, or maybe I have made a video. I don't really remember, but I have a list in my brain, which there might be a video on my channel of it, of me talking about movies that I think should be in the Criterion Collection. And now that I'm saying that, I think I do have a video, but Eyes Wide Shut is definitely up there for me. I'm shocked that that movie doesn't even have a 4K, but B, Criterion, I feel like it would fit right into the Criterion catalog perfectly. I mean, even Stanley Kubrick's Barry Lyndon, which is out by Criterion, that one only has a Blu-ray release, and so I don't understand why Stanley Kubrick movies are not treated with the 4K. I mean, treated better with the 4K within Criterion. I feel like more of his movies should be put into the Criterion Collection and have 4K transfers. I think all of his movies have had a 4K transfer, except Eyes Wide Shut and Lolita and Barry Lyndon. I think those are the last three that don't actually have a physical 4K release. And I don't know. He's probably my favorite director. I mean, definitely up there for me, but yeah, it's kind of between him and David Lynch. So, let's see, Eyes Wide Shut. Eyes Wide Shut is at the top of my list for Criterion. I don't understand the hate that the movie gets. It's my favorite film of all time. You find new things every time you watch it. It is definitely an interesting film. And it's one that I've seen maybe 3 times now. It's definitely a controversial movie, but I really enjoy it. I think it's the more times I watch it, I think I like it more, and it is. I think it's a masterpiece. I think Stanley Kubrick. I mean, everything he did was a masterpiece, but yeah. And Barry Lyndon not released on 4K is a crime. I totally agree. That movie is one of the most beautiful movies ever made, which is quite a statement. But I think that it's true. I think Barry Lyndon, it might be one of the most beautiful movies ever made, because quite literally every single frame of that movie is a Renaissance painting, and it's just absolutely beautiful. It's an incredible movie. If you have not seen it, and I personally am not a huge fan of that time period in history, like the Renaissance and stuff like that. It's just like I always just it's not something I really find interesting, but I Barry Lyndon I really enjoy. And I need to revisit it. It's been a while since I've seen it, but even as somebody who doesn't necessarily enjoy the Renaissance period all that much, I can say that I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's a little intimidating to watch. I believe it's like 3 hours long, but it is it's just an absolute beautiful film that is definitely worth checking out, especially if you're just a fan of movies. Yeah, I absolutely love it. See, shot with only natural and candlelight. Kubrick was a genius. Yes. And also he had, he had special lenses developed for that movie, or he rather used lenses that were from NASA for extreme low light. So stuff like that. I mean, it was just like he engineered cameras to use those lenses for that movie, which is absolutely incredible. Yeah, I really wish we got Stanley Kubrick's Napoleon. I think that would have been a spectacular film. And it's kind of a shame that it never came to be. But so I'm going to jump back up here quickly because there's a couple comments I skipped past. But are you more of a Friday the 13th or Halloween battle? I love Friday the 13th. I think personally, Friday the 13th for me, I think I watched it first before Halloween. I know technically speaking, Friday the 13th is supposed to be like a ripoff of Halloween, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it's like the whole series I absolutely love. I love I think I will say I think it is my favorite horror franchise. And I don't know. I feel like at a certain point within the series, they just kind of knew exactly what they had and they just ran with it. And so, you basically had Jason battling Carrie at some point. I mean, essentially Carrie. You had him going to New York. You had him going to hell. You had him going in space. It was just such a fun series that it's kind of a shame that we don't have more Friday the 13th films, because I feel like, you know, they stopped after 12, which seems like a crime. I feel like they should have made at least 13. Um, but yeah, I really, really enjoy the Friday the 13th series. Do you want a movie on the Rubik's Cube and inventor, etc.? Um, sure. I'm not. I don't know the history of the like Rubik's Cube, but yeah. I mean, if there's a story there, sure. Let's see. Do you like Rain Man? Yes. Yes, with Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman. Yes, I think, yeah, it's Dustin Hoffman, I believe. Yeah, his performance is absolutely incredible in that movie. Let's see. Agree, Kyle. Stanley Kubrick is such a legend in film industry. I actually have a box set that I bought from Barnes and Noble way back when. Such a fan. Clockwork Orange, my fave. Yes, I unfortunately I don't have a Stanley Kubrick box set. I have a VHS box set by Stanley Kubrick, but I don't have like a DVD or a Blu-ray set. I know there was one that I passed up on buying. It was like a wider thing that just says Kubrick across it. Um, and I kind of regret not getting it, but I feel like it was a little expensive. I honestly I wish Criterion would come out with a nice 4K box set of all of his movies. That would be absolutely incredible. Between him and David Lynch, I feel like our two box set, or actually him, David Lynch, Zulawski, and Andre Zulawski. I think that's how you say his name. I never know if I'm saying it right. Are three directors that I think should all have box sets within Criterion. Um, yeah, I think it's, I don't know. I mean, Clockwork Orange is actually, I just read Clockwork Orange for the first time, like the book, um, and it's pretty true to the book. The film is actually pretty similar. There's definitely things left out of the book or out of the movie, obviously from the book, but overall, he did a pretty good job of adapting the story from the book to the movie. Full Metal Jacket is my favorite Kubrick movie. Yes, Full Metal Jacket is also an incredible movie. I mean, just the first time I watched it, I was not a big fan, but it was kind of before I was really into the Kubrick type of making, like filmmaking, and overall, I revisited it years after I first saw it, and I loved it. So yeah, Full Metal Jacket is also incredible. I love your collection. Thank you. When it comes to horror movies, some with Hammer Horror in BBC, Trog, The Two Face of Dr. Jekyll, Dracula, Prince of Darkness, it comes with two versions of the same movie. Interesting. Yeah, I think I have Dracula, Prince of Darkness. I think. I have the Dracula, the Dark Prince. Sorry. I don't have Prince of Darkness. I don't think I do. I don't even know which one this is. They made so many Dracula movies because I have this one and this one, um, and I have even more. I mean, I have the Dracula 2000, um, obviously the Francis Ford Coppola Dracula. I have on VHS. I have a couple other. No, I don't have on VHS. I feel like I have some others, maybe like Hammer horror Dracula movies, but there were so many out there. Um, do you have a favorite Gene Hackman film? Um, I am not. Let's see. Yeah, I believe he recently did. He recently passed away. Yeah, I'm trying to remember which films he was in. Um, I don't know if I have a favorite. I'm just like running through all of his movies here quickly. Um, Yeah, I don't know if I have a favorite of his. I mean, he's in movies I've seen before. But he was not one actor that I particularly like watched a ton of. But Royal Tenenbaums Heist French Connection. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I liked Royal Tenenbaums, which is in the Criterion Collection. That was one of my um, Crimson Tide, French Connection, No Way Out. I'd say out of the ones that I just quickly saw, I'd say Royal Tenenbaums is probably my favorite. Um, I That's one of my favorite Wes Anderson movies, just in general. But yeah, it's always sad when an actor dies. I feel like it's a I don't know. It's always sad because I feel like it's especially somebody who was in the industry a lot. But yes. I'm going to talk about the last two films I watched real quick, so I can move on to the next thing. But on the 22nd of the month, I watched the film, which was yesterday. Um, I watched the film Reptilius. I think that's how you say it. This is put out by Vinegar Syndrome. Um, and I did the same thing that I did with Hellhole. I have this movie on VHS as well, and so I watched it on VHS and the 4K from Vinegar Syndrome. Um, it was definitely cheesy. It was a um, not what I was expecting. I was expecting more of a Godzilla type of movie, but I mean, it technically is that, but I feel like it was just kind of I don't know. I thought it was just okay. Um, you could definitely tell that it was a lower budget than what a Godzilla movie would be, um, and it was still fun at times. I mean, it was a little cheesy, but overall, I thought it was okay. Definitely not the worst Vinegar Syndrome title I've ever seen, but definitely not the best. And then the last movie I watched, which actually I just finished it up a couple hours before starting this live stream, and that is the movie The Beastmaster. This is also put out by Vinegar Syndrome. This is a nice, like limited, I think it's limited edition, or it might be out of print now. But this is a 4K of the title, or the 4K of the film, and this is one that I have never seen before. And I really enjoyed this one. I thought this was such a fun adventure movie. It was not what I was expecting at all. I don't remember what year was this. The packaging on this is amazing. Kind of like opens up and everything. Um, 1982. Yes, this movie was absolutely just incredible for what it was. There was certain sequences in it that I really don't understand how they filmed it. I mean, he has the ability to talk or communicate with animals, and so uh, there was like these like ferrets and a hawk and a panther, which you can kind of see the Black Panther here on the cover. Um, and he has the ability to talk to them, and they're all real animals, and so I am shocked that they were able to get the animals to cooperate for the filming. I can't even imagine what the production behind it really was, but yeah, I really enjoyed Beastmaster. I thought it was such a I don't know, it's such a fun movie, and I kind of wish that more of that type of movie was being made today, where it was just like an adventure, like action adventure. But yes, so that's everything that I watched over the last 2 weeks. Um, and yeah, I need a drink quickly. Let's see. Do you think you will ever start up a podcast? Possibly. There is potentially podcast things in the working, potentially. So I don't even know if potentially would even be, you know, the right word, or it might happen. We'll see. Maybe in the future. So, what movies would you watch while camping? Um, hmm. I mean, Friday the 13th would be a fun one to watch while camping. Um, think. I feel like outdoorsy camp type of movies. Sleepaway Camp would be fun. And maybe a non-horror. Twin Peaks. I feel like just in general, Twin Peaks would be a fun one to watch outside. But who is your favorite action actor? Probably Arnold Schwarzenegger. I like his. I don't know. His action movies are always fun. But Kyle, have you seen and or own Enemy Territory, an 80s film starring Tony Todd, another legend in the film industry? It's based on NYC gang within a project settling. Enemy Territory. I am. Let me see. Do I own this movie? I don't think I own it. Nor have I seen it. But I will definitely have to check it out if I come across it. That sounds interesting, though. Any new movies from recent Criterion flash sale? Yes, actually, I have seven titles. I'll talk about those probably in an upcoming like collection update video. Yeah, I almost talked about them on this, but I'll make a separate video when it comes to things that I purchased over the last couple of weeks. So those will be included in the next collection update video. But speaking of which, though, for Criterion, I have a stack of movies here that I do this from time to time on this on the live stream. And I basically I have this terrible habit of letting movies stay sealed on my shelf. And I have the mindset when it comes to collecting that I'm collecting for the purpose of watching, not just the purpose of collecting. And so keeping a movie sealed on a shelf doesn't really make much sense to me, because if it's sealed, I can't watch it, regardless if I have seen it or not before. I feel like it is a it's kind of a bad habit. The reason why it's a bad habit is many years ago, I bought a 4K title from Walmart, and it stayed sealed on my shelf. It was Terminator 2, which is unfortunate that it was a bad transfer anyways. But I left it sealed on my shelf because I'm like, well, I've seen the movie before. I own a million different copies. I'm not going to get around to watching it on 4K anytime soon. I'll just leave it sealed on my shelf and get around to it whenever. Well, 2, maybe 3 years after I purchased it, I decided to open it up, and I open it up and it's missing the Blu-ray disc within the packaging, which was kind of a bummer. It had the 4K disc. I think maybe it was the other way around. Maybe it was just the Blu-ray disc and not the 4K disc. Either way, one of the discs were missing. And so I was kind of bummed about it. I mean, I called up Walmart asking if there was any potential, and they said, since it was a couple years old, the transaction, it was no longer available, which I completely understood. I let it sit way too long. And so since then, I don't like leaving things sealed on shelves, regardless of where I get it from. There's some movies that I would like to actually go through and open up, like that I got from like a Goodwill. So just say if I bought it brand new from Goodwill and it's missing a disc, there's nothing I'm going to be able to do about it. But it's just more of the mindset behind it, of why own something if it's just going to stay sealed. So I have a stack of movies here that I'm going to open up on this live stream, I guess, and like as I talk about questions. There's a couple in here that I don't know. There's some Criterion in here that I have yet to open up. And so I'm going to start off though with a couple from Goodwill that I purchased in my last collection update video. So The Exorcist Believer is one of them. Let's see, where's my but yeah, I definitely think, because it's like, technically speaking, like, yes, I could potentially find this movie on Blu-ray or 4K down the line and then sell this copy as brand new factory sealed. But I'm like, that might only increase the value a little bit. Probably not worth keeping this sealed. So certain things I feel like would make sense, but this is just a very generic DVD. So yeah, see, yes, definitely watch / view it. Hi, hey again. The Hammer films and BBC from Screen Factory I was telling about. Okay, so they're in the Screen Factory. Yes, yes. Actually, I know which ones you're referring to. Um, I need to check those out. But it's kind of like ASMR of movie opening. I should have grabbed a trash can. I do this every single time I do this, where I just throw all of the wrapping on the paper, or all of the like packaging on the floor, and then I have to clean it up after the live stream. But hooray, Exorcist Believer. I've heard literally not super great things about this movie, so I am curious on that one. But then I got Late Night with the Devil, which actually I watched this one last year, and I really liked this. I thought it was a very interesting film. So I know there was a fantastic version of this movie put out by Umbrella, I believe, and they I think it comes with like a VHS tape and stuff, and yeah, it's fun. It has the photo, but yeah, I got both of these at The Exorcist Believer and Late Night with the Devil at Goodwill, which was a fun one. Let's see. Have you seen Thunderhearts? Thunderhearts. That sounds semi-familiar. I have not. I own that on VHS, but I do not. I have not seen it yet. See, that's me with Dirty Dancing. I own several anniversary issues, DVD, Blu-ray. Yeah, I have a like I have ones or certain movies in my collection that I'm like I own so many copies of that I don't feel the need to open them up. But it just goes back to like if I'm gonna like personally, if I'm gonna own something, I should probably at least open it up. It's kind of stupid of I don't know keeping it. Man, so one thing I absolutely hate about like brand new things is this little like it always gets stuck on the spine, like the little like wrapping, and so you have to kind of like peel off little bits at a time, which is just so frustrating. But I don't even know how to prevent that. Let's see. Kyle, speaking of factory sealed, I find in my collecting movies, the slip covers make all the difference. Yes, they are slip covers are a whole thing. That's drink quickly. Slipcovers are a whole industry almost within the collecting world where I mean Vinegar Syndrome thrives with slipcovers, and some people will pay hundreds of dollars for a slipcover. Like my rule of thumb with it is if it does like if you can get a slipcover and like if you can get if it comes with a slipcover and it's available and it's roughly the same price, if not the same price, probably worth grabbing. If it's going to cost you double or triple the amount of money, it's probably not worth it, depending on the title. If it's a movie that you really, really, really care about and it only had one edition and it only came with a slipcover, it might be worth paying the extra just to have like the nice, collectionness of it. But the when it comes to like Vinegar Syndrome, for instance, like the market, the aftermarket for slipcovers is absolutely insane. I mean, people are charging 2, 3 times the cost of the actual movie just because it has a slipcover. And in my brain, I don't think it's really worth it. Don't get me wrong, they all look fantastic when they're all together and they all like have slipcovers. It looks great. It's kind of like the Scream Factory slipcovers. Like I have a bunch of the 4K titles, and they all have slipcovers and they look great together. And it bugs me because my Slumber Party Massacre 1 and 2 4K doesn't have a slipcover, and I don't think ever they I don't I might be mistaken, but I don't think it had a slipcover to begin with. Um, it's hard because I should get back to openings. Um, it's hard because it's like, you want it, but at the same time, I'm like, is it really worth it? Let's see, we have the Meg 2 and the Meg, which I got this for the Meg 2 because I have the Meg on 4K, but yeah, my Meg 2 is such a fun movie. I thought it was a lot of fun. Let's see. Limited slip covers is a struggle. Yes, struggle, to say the least. It's definitely, I don't know. My like little gripe when it comes to Vinegar Syndrome, for instance, which it seems like they might have changed this. But when they were doing it limited to per customer, where, within your account, you could purchase 2 copies, which I always felt like it was encouraging the aftermarket sale of things where, for something like this was limited to per customer. And so somebody might come along the way and buy 2 copies, keep one, and then put one up on eBay when they sell out. Since then, at least for some of the more recent stuff, it is limited 1 per customer. So maybe they're trying to discourage the aftermarket sales. I don't know. I think it's like the easy solution to all of it is just don't make them so limited. I understand it's probably a business strategy to like try to make it limited to like encourage people to buy quicker. But when there are so many movies coming out on so many different like formats, so many different like labels, it is overwhelming to try keep up with. And so I don't know. I like this is a great example actually, which this one I believe might be out of print, so some people might cringe at me opening this, but this is the movie God Told Me To, put out by Blue Underground. This is a 4K with slipcover, and I'm going to open it up because again, like this might be out of print, but if I'm going to own it, I would rather I don't know for sure if it's out of print or not, but if I'm going to own it, I'm going to want to watch it. So. And it does bug me. I have certain movies in my collection that don't have a slipcover that I know should, that like basically are sold not like separate from the slipcover, which is kind of annoying because it's like, oh well, I should have had a slipcover eventually, but let's see. There is one new chapter from Tony Todd in the new Candyman 2021. Interesting. And then that's interesting. And then web address taken down. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Web address taken down. Yeah. I'm not sure what you meant by that, T. Fred. But we have God Told Me To, which is a fun 4K. With these, I always try to, if they have, I mean, Blue Underground does this, but when it has like reversible artwork, I try, especially since this artwork, dropping things, since the artwork that came on the movie is identical to the slipcover, I always reverse it so you get technically to appreciate both versions. But yeah, this is one that I've actually not seen yet, so I'm excited to check this one out. There we have that with the slipcover. I have a bunch of, not a bunch, well, several Severin titles that I got in this last large collection purchase thing that I did that are brand new. So, Private Crimes. It's fun. I didn't know it was a 2-disc edition of the film. This is one that seems almost strange that Severin put this out, but this is Overboard with Kurt Russell in it. And I feel like it's just one that I'm very curious because it also comes with slipcover. Very curious. I know nothing about this movie, but very curious on it. See, no one heard the scream. I guess that's a let's see. Let's see. I bought some DVDs from Walmart, which turned out to be bootlegs. Have you had similar issues? Walmart said contact third party whose web address was taken down. Interesting. Yeah, interesting. I have never had that happen to me. I don't really buy anything through the Walmart website. If I am purchasing something through Walmart or at Walmart, it's going to be like in person. But let's see. Yeah, that's interesting. I feel like, yeah, I would probably go to Walmart in person and complain to them. They might be able to give you a refund for it. Yeah, that's interesting though that it's like a bootleg. I have had it on Amazon. I've bought things through Amazon, which is like a third party, and it turns out to be a bootleg, and so I had to return it that way. But let's see. Overboard 80s classic. Wow, I didn't know that version out. I must add it to my collection. Yes, I'm very excited to I love Severin. I think it's such a unique company that everything that they put out is in a just weird, interesting. I mean, it's not all horror. I would say a large chunk of it is horror, but personally for me, my favorite labels is Criterion, and then right underneath it is Severin. And then I don't know about my third favorite. It might be Synapse. I don't know, because I do like Vinegar Syndrome, but Severin is definitely pretty high up there for me. But speaking of Severin, I have Grizzly here on Blu-ray. Looks like this one has reversible artwork as well. What do we have? Huh. Man, I kind of like both artworks though. So this is the original factory sealed one, and then this is the one that you can reverse it to. I might leave it on the factory sealed one for now and decide later, but it always sucks when there's like two artworks that actually look pretty solid together, but Kyle, did you see my response concerning DVD packaging? I hate when it gets stuck on the DVD case as well. Shaking my head. Oh, yes. Sorry, I did not. I saw your comment and I did not reply. But yes, that is when it gets stuck on like the spine of DVDs, it is like the actual worst because there's like this little bits of things there. And yeah, yeah. it's such a pain. Um, that's why it's almost in some ways it's almost better just to like find the movie used, because then you don't have to deal with all that. Um, but I like it when DVD packaging is, or rather Blu-ray or anything is packaging is like this, where it's like this. It's a different material. I don't know how to describe it, but it like tears way easier. It's like less of a stiff plastic, and this is like way more like almost like oh, what is that stuff? Like plastic wrap that you would buy like in a store. It's almost like that, where or saran wrap. There we go. But yeah, this movie looks amazing. I'm very excited to check this out. Um, these like action films, what year's 87? These just look amazing. I mean, the cover alone, look at that. I feel like you can't go wrong with something like that. I mean, there's a shark, submarine, helicopter, and explosions. Guy with two like giant bazooka guns and or rocket launchers, and he has grenades, and of course he's in a black tank top because you can't go wrong with a black tank top in an 80s action flick. But yes, that looks absolutely amazing. Um, it's another one that um, yeah, Severin has some of these like really fun. I think they're all. I wonder if they're all 80s action movies, but this one's Cop Game. But yeah, just all the artwork looks very like similar on these. I have one over here too. Very like similar style. I wonder if they're all put out by the same. They all kind of look like the same artist maybe did them. But yeah, this one also, this Born to Fight movie. I mean, he's holding a snake while getting like venom from it. I'll show it closer here. It just looks absolutely incredible. There's that. See, where do you prefer to sell your DVDs? Lately, I've only been selling at Retro Attic. I haven't been to the exchange in months. Yeah, so I have recently. I've been selling on eBay, and unfortunately, eBay does take a decent chunk of money between shipping and fees. eBay does take like I think it's like 20% or something. It's ridiculous. But I've been selling on that, and then whatever doesn't sell, because there's like a bottom price point for me personally of like how much it's worth it to actually sell something on eBay. And if it's below that price point, I just don't even bother, because it's like, okay, I'm walking with like not as much money as I would even really um care to go through the struggle or the trouble of like packaging it up and taking it to the post office, and it's just not worth it. So I do take stuff to the Retro Attic. I take stuff to him. I haven't really been to the exchange in a very long time either. So it's I would say it's mainly Retro Attic. I feel like he's very fair on his pricing, and yeah, I don't know. I've been trying to declutter my collection in some aspects, in some ways. So I'm trying to like great example. I always keep going to the Beastmaster, but Beastmaster I got on 4K. I had the old Anchor Bay DVD. I held on to it for a little bit because I'm like, well, it's kind of like the artwork's slightly different and it's Anchor Bay, so it's kind of fun, but um, I'm getting rid of it now because I don't need a DVD copy of it. And I have the 4K. If I'm going to watch the movie, I'm going to be watching it on Blu-ray or 4K. I'm not going to be popping in the Anchor Bay DVD. Any special features that are on that disc are more than likely on here. It's already not a movie that I am in love with. I mean, I've seen it once. Um, so, which I actually should add to here while I'm thinking of it. This was movie number 99 of my year. So I've seen now 99 films this year alone, which is absolutely insane. I'm currently watching movie 100, like on the other side of the room. I'm about an hour into it, and so I won't reveal what that movie is yet, but I'm excited because so far it's such a great movie. So yeah, I will say I usually take stuff to the Retro Attic, or sometimes I'll put stuff up on Facebook. it just depends. Within this last big purchasing of my this last huge purchase that I did of all the movies, I've been doing a mixture of eBay. I've taken a few things to Retro Attic, and I've sold some stuff on Facebook. And because I talked about in that video, for it to make sense, I had to sell some stuff off of that collection to help cover the cost of everything. So, but yes, that's kind of, I don't know. That's kind of how I collect now. But yeah. Get Smart movie underrated. It's been a long time since I've seen it, so I can't remember it super well. I feel like I owned it and I might have gotten rid of it. I'm trying to. I think I got rid of it. Yeah. But favorite Overboard scenes. I'm not sure. Yeah, I apologize. I'm not sure. I'd have to think about it. But I have a couple Criterion here to open. I got this. I think, well, actually, my wife got this for my birthday. Was it last? Yeah, last year. And I put it on a shelf. And again, not that I don't want to see the film, but I just never gotten around to actually opening it. So, let's see. Yeah. I know. So, like, let's see, Spy Number 512. This is a Jean-Luc Godard film. But I know when it comes to Criterion, some people have run into the thing of like purchasing a Blu-ray and that's a completely different disc in there. And so I try to be good about opening these up almost as soon as I get them, because Criterion is good about if you open it up and it doesn't have the right disc, they're going to be able to work with you a little bit and send you the right disc. But this is another one that I got at Barnes & Noble. I think it was last year. That I have just had not had a chance to open it up, but it's one that looks very interesting that I'm excited to check out. Awesome. So interesting. And the last movie that I will open up here, because it's the last one I have in the stack. I'm sure I have other movies in this collection that I have yet to open up. I don't know. I should really go through my whole collection and find all of the ones that are still sealed. But this one I got for, looks like $15. And this is actually out of print now. And some people are going to like cringe at me opening this up because it's out of print and it's probably worth more money sealed. But again, I'm never going to sell this. I'm not going to go out of my way to purchase this again just to have an opened copy and keep a sealed copy. This is Spy Number 318. So this is actually one that I need to be watching relatively soon. But that's okay. I will. I bought this to watch. So. Then these little like tab things on the top. I know some people will just cut them. I try to peel them off in one piece if I can. But they're also just a pain. Especially when they leave like the glue. There we go. Look at that. It's always fun too with Criterion. They have like the little like catalog booklets, and this one's from 2006, which kind of shows you when this movie was roughly released, like released from Criterion, which it goes up to Spy Number 325, which is kind of fun. So. But yeah, that's everything that I opened up, or that's everything that I needed to open up. And Awesome. I am curious though. Do you have any? Because we were talking about slipcovers earlier. Does anyone on this thing have like a what's it called? What's the term called now? A holy grail slipcover that you're looking for, regardless of if that's on boutique or regardless of a just a regular like run of the mill slipcover, like a run of like a just a studio release, or is there any packaging out there that you are like really after that is hard to find or really expensive? I am curious on if anybody you guys have any of those. So that part of the packaging is pain as well. Yes, it is. It was always funny. They don't do this so much anymore, but back in the day when they had those like tab things, they would have the tab things on here, on the side, on the bottom, and then they had like little like clips on like to you had to pop those clips open to get the DVD case open. It was ridiculous. There was like 3 different things. I mean, you had to take the plastic off, take off all those security tabs. Like there was like so many steps just to get to the disc when you first purchased it. And so of course it was just, I don't know, I feel like maybe DVDs were worth more back then, so they wanted to make sure that you couldn't just steal the disc. But do you like Mr. 3000? Mr. 3000, I'm not sure. Mr. 3000, let me Google that quickly. I have not seen it. No, I have not seen this. So I cannot say for sure, but I'll have to check it out if I come across a copy. Yes, I'll have to send that to you via email. Yes, I'm actually very curious on people's like, I guess even regardless of slipcovers, just in general, do people have a holy grail list or a holy grail item that you're like really after? For me personally, some of my holy grail items that I'm very, very grateful. I truly am blessed to have is the Al Adamson box set back there, the Amityville Horror box set right there. I really wanted the Akira Kurosawa collection put out by Criterion, and I do have it's up there in the corner now. And I had so many, and I have a couple still. There's definitely still a few that I'm after, but I would say overall, I mean like the Forgotten Giallo sets put out by Arrow Video. There was Forgotten Giallo Red and Blue. I'm missing those. I think there's only 2 that I was missing: red and blue. I have white, black, and yellow, but I want the limited edition versions. So I'm still looking for those. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I was like really after that was really, really hard to find. I don't know. There's definitely stuff out there that I'm sure. I don't know. I mean, for one thing that I've been like kind of looking for is which is actually pretty recent, is Faces of Death, put out in Walmart, which is of all places. There was a Faces of Death DVD set or collection put out in Walmart's, and I have been to now five different Walmarts looking for it. And I have yet to see it. So I think maybe in my area nobody got it, unfortunately, and so that's one that I'm looking for. I'm not like, because I technically could buy it off eBay for I think $20 more than what retail is, but it's not one that I'm like I need to have right now. So I'm like I'll eventually get it, but it's more of just the hunt of trying to find it in person, which is kind of fun, but. See, I have many, but I can't think of any at the moment concerning slipcovers. Yeah, there was a couple of slipcovers that were like I got in this last pencil. I would say like this last big collection thing that I purchased. I got the because I got so much good stuff from it that I just I still can't believe that happened, but I got the Sleepaway Camp films, 1, 2, and 3, put out by Scream Factory with slipcovers. So I'm very, very grateful with that. I have a feeling though, eventually we're going to get a 4K transfer of all three films. So if I had to give someone advice, don't go spend $200 on the slipcovers. It's probably not worth it. We'll probably get, a nice 4K packaging eventually, whether that's from Scream Factory or another one. But yeah, I'm trying to think of another crazy slipcover. I also got like the Four Flies on Gray Velvet with slipcover. That was from Severin Films. That was a 4K. And as far as slipcovers go, I don't know. I don't have a good answer for my own question, so I do apologize. What do you want to see a live action version of? Ooh, that's a great question. A live action version of. I don't know. I feel like anything that I can think of is like of it being animated. I feel like it looks the best animated. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to think about it, but yeah, I'm not sure. I'm sorry. Let's see, Suns and Shadows says, "Hey everyone, hello, welcome to the live stream." Let's see, do you want a Garth movie? Garth movie, like what is like Garth Brooks or like Garth from Wayne's World? I'm not either one. I honestly have never. I mean, if it is Wayne's World, I've never seen Wayne's World. I should have seen it by now, but I have not. Yeah, the yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I'm sorry. Let's see. Wow, Wicked. Yes, I agree. I've made many purchases via Scream Factory. Yeah, I like Scream Factory for me. For the longest time, I ignored Scream Factory because I was like, well, it is a boutique label, but it's not. I focus way more of my energy into Criterion. And so semi recently, I've been getting more into Scream Factory. I think I've only purchased one order from Scream Factory, like the website itself. Everything else I've bought secondhand or Facebook or whatever. And I think, I got my Friday 13th set from Amazon way back when it first was released. And I think I actually got a couple of the sets from Walmart. But yeah, I do like Scream Factory. I like their 4Ks. I honestly kind of want to try collect all of their 4Ks with slipcovers, but it's also one of those things that's like, if it happens, it happens. If I come across them cheap, then I will. But let's see. Poor Kyle, I've been subbed to you for 2 years. Just don't catch you on live much. Haha. Yes, thank you. Thank you for subscribing. I do appreciate it. Yeah, for 2 years. Wow. It's kind of crazy it's been that long since I've had this channel. I kind of forget how long it actually has been because I feel like I don't know. I keep making videos and just having fun with it without really realizing, how much time has passed. But thank you for your subscribing. I do appreciate it. Scream Factory and their terrible slipcovers for the longest time. Yeah, that's the thing is like I feel like with Scream Factory, you either love their Blu-ray slipcovers or you hate them. I feel like there's like a very it's a very like some people like them, some people don't. And because they all had like the same artist like feeling. I don't know if they're all done by the same artist, but they all definitely had the same feeling. And then they also took it a step further with the like posters that were released with the movies. And I never got into the posters. I've seen the posters for sale several times at like an exchange or in different settings, and I've just never gravitate towards posters, mainly because I don't have the room for them. I don't have wall space. Maybe if I was living in like a giant mansion and I could like, had a whole hallway just designated like leading up to a movie room and just like covered with movie posters, but that's not the case currently. So I just like I can't get into movie posters, and even then, if I was going to buy a movie poster, I'd probably be wanting the original poster, not like a artist rendition of the poster. Although I will say at Killer Video, the guy who does, which is Killer Video, is, if you didn't watch that video of mine, it's a local like horror exhibit in Akron, Ohio. And there is an artist who does pretty awesome artwork renditions of horror movie posters and kind of puts like a twist to them, which I do like those. But yeah, I do. The thing is, I like the Scream Factory 4K slipcovers more than their Blu-ray slipcovers because it's actually going back to the original poster art and like the original artwork, which I think I like more than the actual the rendition. The only I will say last thing about Scream Factory. The only thing I like about the Blu-rays is usually a lot of the times you had the artist rendition of the slipcover, and then you had the original artwork could be an option as reversible artwork within. So yeah, I like that's one thing I liked about it, is like you could take the artist rendition like version off and then see the original poster. Let's see. Who should play Darkman? Like the Sam Raimi Darkman series. I'm not sure. I've never actually seen Darkman. It's one movie. I think I might own it. I think I own it on, is it HD DVD? I own a version of the movie. I've never actually gotten around to watching it, so I'm not 100% sure. I do apologize. Yes, Criterion as well via Barnes and Noble. Yes, so that's where I purchase most of my Criterion through Barnes and Noble. In the past, I would really enjoy going to Barnes and Noble first day of the sale. It happened more than once where I'd show up at like 8 a.m. first day of the sale. I was waiting outside of Barnes and Nobles before they even opened, ready to go, super excited. And now, unfortunately, Barnes and Noble's like not carrying as many Criterion. They're still carrying a little bit, but I just went to a brand new location, which is very exciting. I'm very, very excited that Barnes and Nobles are still opening up and not just closing down. That is a good thing for society, is to have bookstores still as a thing. And so I went to a brand new Barnes and Noble location, and they had literally like I should have taken a photo. I'm kind of mad I didn't, but like 4 little shelves of movies. It's just a small little section, like this wide by maybe that much, maybe a little bit more. There's like 4 or 5, like very, very like maybe like let's see, shelves about that size. As you can see, this one shelf unit here, like maybe a little bigger, and they had maybe, I don't know, 15 different Criterion titles. It might have been the most pathetic movie section I've ever seen in a Barnes and Noble. It was so sad. But they had, 2 giant sections designated to vinyl, which I understand. It probably brings in money, but yeah, I feel like now it's like I don't even go to Barnes and Noble, in person to buy Criterion. I try to, if it's available in person, I try to go to still, support a physical store. And if it's something that I'm actually looking for and it's at a store, I will, I will go out of my way to go to the store to buy it in person. But it happens so many times where there's so many titles that I want that simply they're not in store. And it's always unfortunate. I will say though, the year before last, I was in Orlando, Florida, and there is a Barnes & Noble. If you're ever in the Orlando, Florida area, there is a Barnes & Noble, which the lady told me it is known as, I don't know if I'm assuming this is still the case, but but it is referred to as a showcase store, where it's basically showing what a Barnes & Noble really could be. And so they have everything in stock. And the Criterion section was like absolutely beautiful. It was so, they had so many, including DVDs. Shocking. Like they had Criterion DVDs, which I'm like, I feel like I haven't seen those in forever. But they had, you know, every box set, every, you know, pretty much if it was in print available, they had it. And it was just absolutely incredible. Unfortunately, I couldn't buy a ton because I, you know, had to take it with me on an airplane, but I was still able to purchase a few. So if you are in the Orlando, Florida area, highly recommend checking that out during the Criterion sale. But anyways, let me jump back into these. I feel like I was rambling there for a little bit. I do apologize. Let's see. Who is your favorite on-screen pirate? Are they funny or are they scary? On-screen pirate. I mean, Jack Sparrow is a lot of fun, which is just he's funny. I don't know. I don't watch a lot of pirate movies, but yeah. So yeah, the Blu-ray ones were the questionable ones. Letting that topic go. Yeah, I definitely agree. Some of the Scream Factory Blu-rays were, I don't know. I definitely not ones that I went out of my way to get. But yeah. What costume or set designer would you hire to design everything around you? And also, what cinematographer would you would you, I'm assuming, hire to design the look of everything you see? That's a great question. Cinematographer, I'm not sure. But as far as like set design, man, there was somebody in my head and it just popped out. Yeah, I'm not sure. Hire to design, gotcha. Yeah, I'm not that's a great question. I mean, maybe Terrence Malick. I don't know who his cinematographer is or if he's a cinematographer, but whoever he hires, his films are just absolutely incredible. I love the cinematography in his movies. So maybe whoever is the cinematographer for Days of Heaven, that person. But as far as set design or costume design, I don't know. That is a great question. Let's see. In addition, big problem via NYC locations. Shaking my head. Yes, I haven't been to New York, any of the New York Barnes and Nobles, but yeah, it is unfortunate because I just feel like it's like Barnes and Noble is the only store where you can purchase Criterion brand new. And you would think that they would lean into that like a lot as being the only store that you can purchase Criterion. Like, I don't know, especially during the, like, I understand if they don't want to be like putting up a bunch of stuff for, you know, not during the sale, if they, because like, you know, I know like space is limited in those stores, but like you would think at the bare minimum, like at around the sales for the month-long sales of July and November, they would put out like a special display where they would just pack it with Criterion. I feel like that would make the most sense. At least for me, that would make most sense of just, you know, spend a couple hours of just making a display of just a bunch of Criterion. And same thing with when it comes to Arrow, or I know I think they do Kino as well. But they should just put a whole big display of a bunch of Criterion and not just the new stuff. I feel like they focus a lot on like the newest releases, which kind of makes sense, or like the best selling releases. But I'm like, that's the same stuff that you see year after year after year. So you see like a lot of Fantastic Mr. Fox or Seven Samurai or Blood Simple or I'm trying to think, Princess Bride, or like the well-known titles that like people will recognize. But like, I want to walk into a Barnes and Noble and, you know, see like this, like something like a French film that not many people know about or recognize, or I feel like that's what I would love to see when it comes to a Barnes and Noble. Or I'd like to see some box sets. I feel like it's rare to come across a Barnes and Noble with box sets on display. Like if you do come, like if there are box sets, it's usually like the Bruce Lee box set, or I don't know, maybe the Apu trilogy or something like that. Like, but um, yeah, I don't know. I wish it was a little different. Let's see. Is Barnes and Noble was going to rename itself? What two movie characters would you name it after? Ooh. Um. I'm trying to think of like, not horror names, but like, um, Igmar for one of them, I would say, which I know isn't, it's more of I mean, for Igmar Bergman, I think he is kind of fits the mold for what a Barnes and Noble is, and I don't know about a second one. Yeah. So yeah, I try to support brick and mortar stores. However, many are disappearing via NYC. Shaking my head. Yeah, I agree. It's unfortunate. Yeah, I feel like it's hard to support a brick and mortar store when the ones that are still around aren't carrying the things that you want. I know technically speaking, you could have it shipped to the store and then you can pick it up from the store, which is when you can have it shipped to your house at the same cost. It's hard. It's a hard like thing. Yeah, it's always unfortunate. You need a new estate staff from movie characters. Hire one driver, one security, one admin, one for recreation, and uh, groundskeeping. Um, One driver, I would probably say. Hmm. The driver from Drive, which would be fun, Ryan Gosling. Um, Security would be. I'm not sure. And admin, I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to think about those. See, defending your life criterion. Do you have it? I don't. Let me see. I'm actually not sure if I do or not, but let me. I do not. No, I do not own it, but eventually it's on my list. Um, yeah. Yes, I agree. It is hard. It is a hard thing as one must worry about having the correct items and not return costs. Shake my head. Yes. Um, that is the. It's like I mean, it's unfortunate. I almost wish like the internet in a way like didn't exist because I feel like in person buying, like at least online shopping, I feel like online shopping kind of ruins a lot of things. Like I am personally scared of buying specific items off specific websites, like Screen Factory, for instance, because I'm like, will this have a slipcover? Or is the slipcover gone? And or like if I'm buying something that would have a slipcover from Barnes and Noble or something, is it going to have a slipcover? It might not sure. Same thing with Amazon. Arrow Video is a great example of like things that are limited editions. They might have the limited edition packaging. And when you're buying it online, it's like I think it's the limited edition. I'm not sure. That's why I like purchasing things mostly off eBay, because you can physically see the object in the photo. And yeah, I don't know. It's hard because I like. I just want to take these off. My ears are starting to hurt. Yeah, my ears are really red. Headphones with glasses are not fun. What was I saying? It's hard because when you're purchasing something from a website that is limited edition or has a slipcover, or and you can't physically see the object, sometimes it feels like a toss-up of if you're actually going to get the item that you really want. So I don't know. She changed name of Barnes and Noble. Yeah, I have two movie characters. I'm not sure. I'd have to think about it. Let's see. Changing everyone's gender in Silence of the Lambs. Who should play the male character or Clarice? I feel like Silent. I mean, who should play the female Hannibal Lecter? Who should play the female Crawford? And who should play Buffalo? Whoever. Yeah, I have no idea. I feel like Silence of the Lambs is one of those movies that's just perfectly cast. I don't know if I could even come up with somebody else to play any of those people. I mean, Anthony Hopkins was the perfect choice for Hannibal Lecter. Yeah, I have no idea. But yes. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I've been talking for an hour and 42 minutes. I'll probably wrap this thing up here shortly, unless if there's anything else discussed, anything other comments, questions, concerns, things people wanted to talk about. And yeah. Let's see. Which Ghostbuster character are you most similar to? Ooh. I never remember the names of any of the Ghostbusters. It was one of those franchise that I just really I watched and I liked it, but it was one that I never really watched a ton. I can't remember the names. I'm sorry. See, well, Kelly, yet another fun-packed evening of movie reviews / collections. Thank you. Till next time, have a great rest of your eve. Thank you. Yes. Which one do you relate to most? I'm not sure if you had. I'm not sure. But yes, I'm probably going to end it here, just because it's almost 9:00 here in Ohio. But yes, thank you for those who stuck around till now to for the whole live stream. Thank you for those who took the time to tune in and leave a comment. I do appreciate it. And thank you for those who are watching this on the playback on YouTube. Again, please feel free to leave any comments on anything discussed if you feel like it, and I will get back to you. I do read all of your comments, so it is it's always fun to me to read all the comments, so I do appreciate it. Let's see, have a good night and chat, or have a good night chat, and Kyle, hit the hit that like button on the way out. Yes, but thank you guys again for taking the time to watch these. I do appreciate it. It is my favorite part of this YouTube channel, is just to interact with you guys. And I hope everybody out there has a great rest of your, I guess, not rest of your week, a great week coming up. And yeah, I hope everyone's out there is able to watch some great movies. So I will see you guys all on the next live stream. So thanks, guys, and have a good evening.